Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. Today I fucked up by eating too many oranges. So this happened a few months back, but it's a funny story nonetheless that needs to be on the internet. I was living in my grandparents' basement at the time in a 5-story house. Walking up the stairs to get to the kitchen was a hassle, so I only did it when it was time to eat. Now I'm not an out-of-shape person, but I'm not enthusiastic about going up flights of stairs just to look at a pantry scarcely filled with old people food. Now my grandfather had an office on one of the lower levels, and he loved his beer, so he had a mini fridge in the basement where he'd store it. In that fridge he'd also store these delicious, juicy, and always ripe oranges. The perfect, healthy snack that I'd overindulge in when I partook in unhealthier weed habits. Anyways, when I say overindulge, I mean overindulge. I must have ate 3 in a single sitting, every day. And I'd go peel them on the couch next to my bed while I watched TV. I used an old beer case as my garbage since I didn't want to walk all the way upstairs with handfuls of orange peels. So I just left all the peels downstairs in the box on the couch and continued eating away. The 24 beer case probably was about 2/5 ths full of discarded orange peels at this point. So I slowed my roll and took a break from eating them. Now a few weeks have passed, and I start to get sick. But not a normal flu-like sickness, but a watery itchy eye, sore throat, hard to breathe type sickness. I had no idea what was going on and I was just thinking it could be a weird cold. So I tried to rest it off. A few days pass and I'm still dealing with this sickness and I start to worry. My eyes are always watery and itchy, my breathing isn't optimal, and it is past the point of annoyance and I'm in a full-blown panic. Stayed in the basement in fear of spreading whatever illness I had to my grandparents, which only made my illness worse. So I feel defeated, that is, until I start pacing around my room and see it. I see it clear as day. My orange peels have molded in the box, still sitting on the couch right next to my bed. I had been breathing in orange mold spores for about a week unknowingly, causing my symptoms. After throwing them away properly, everything went back to normal and luckily no lasting damage happened to my body. Too long didn't read, I didn't discard my orange peels properly and unknowingly ended up breathing in mold spores that got me sick. This story's a breath of fresh air. Agreed. Thank you, Op, for not sticking your dick in the oranges. That's pretty scary because you could have easily become extremely sick or died from this. Oranges are known to have Cladiosporidium spores grow on them which could easily kill you. Glad you recovered easily. Geez, it's actually today I fucked up by not composting/discarding a pile of orange peels, ha ha ha. Once you started talking about not feeling well, I was thinking, wait, did he discard the peels or not? Today I fucked up by pressing spacebar on a Zoom call. Technically this was yesterday, but I'm just now recovering from the embarrassment. Obligatory I am on mobile. There's been a plethora of stories related to online meetings and classes lately. Despite what you may speculate happened from the title, get your minds out of the gutter, this was a relatively innocent mistake. Here I was, sitting and watching a Biology 200 lecture. The professor is explaining the different types of microscopy, thrilling stuff, and I'm only half paying attention. Keep in mind there are close to 300 students attending and all of us are muted/have video off. I do this thing where I make strange sounds when I'm bored to amuse myself, so I set my phone down and let out the most glorious, noisy, extended turkey imitation to break up the monotony of information bombarding my ears. I set my phone down on the space bar and everyone heard me. 300 people and my favorite professor got to enjoy a solid 5 to 10 seconds of my somewhat strangled turkey noises before the professor commented, alerting me to mistake. Someone's making a strange sound, but okay. Sure enough, I could see I was unmuted. Cue the fastest exit of a Zoom call ever. Even better, I had a meeting with my project group from that class a mere 15 minutes later. Nobody commented, so I'm left wondering if people could tell it was me or not. Too long didn't read, put my phone down on the spacebar accidentally, unmuting myself and proceeded to do my best turkey imitation for an audience of my 300 biology peers. Edit, thank you u/wolfmonster207 for the award. Last week I had Zoom training, and I forgot that I was on video and proceeded to cram a whole muffin into my mouth. Corporate was pretty amused. I nearly choked and died. Turned my video off for the rest of the meeting. Something similar happened to me. I was having a literature lesson and I was so bored that I started watching an Italian YouTuber who tends to insult video games in funny ways and have breakdowns while playing. So, what's the problem, you may ask? Well, I forgot to mute myself on Meet after replying to the teacher, so the whole class heard 20 seconds of Zeb89 saying shit about an indie game. The teacher didn't realize I was watching a video, and blamed another guy for forgetting to mute himself while he was insulting the lesson. That was kinda funny. Next time just mute yourself when you catch the mistake. Signing off made it obvious that it was you. I was interviewing a lot at my previous job, and had just entered our afternoon huddle. I was muted, so my BF starting asking me about when I was going to receive some offers and when's my next interview. Well, I must have pushed the spacebar BC. All of the sudden my senior leadership heard all about my future plans to leave the agency. Someone started screaming, "Are we being Zoom bombed?" I was like fuck. Got a few Teams messages telling me how smooth I was. It was awful. I literally LOL'd at the thought of the visuals/audio of this. Thank you for that. Today I fucked up by letting my 2-year-old bring his Power Wheel inside. Today I fucked up by letting my son, who is 2 years old, almost 3, bring his Power Wheel inside. I had just done a speed upgrade by replacing the 12-volt stock battery with a 20-volt drill battery. He's a really good driver for his age. I'm aware of how dumb this sounds, but the dude is incredible. So after I did the battery swap, I let him ride it outside for a solid 2 hours and he was absolutely loving it. But then my daughter runs up to me, who is the same age, they are twins, saying sissy poopy. I proceed to tell my son that we have to go in and change her, and he absolutely loses it and refuses to let go of the steering wheel. So me, being the cool dad, say, "Let's just take it inside, buddy, and you can ride it in there while I change your sister." Here comes the screw up. We have hardwood floors and not like nice ones. Like the slick linoleum that's $1 a square foot kind of stuff. Well, you mix that with plastic wheels and a 10 miles per hour Power Wheel and it will not turn. So I sit him down and say, "Let her eat, bud," and he proceeds to go full speed into our kitchen table, hitting his head, still at full throttle, zooms under the table and thumps his head on the other side of the table. He immediately starts crying and I'm like, shit, he hit his head, he is going to have a major goose egg. So I pick him up and I'm consoling him, and when I pull him away to look at the damage, I see the blood. He has a cut across his eyelid that's just pouring blood. All of this happens after my wife told me not to put the damn drill battery in the car. So I now have a son with a cut on his eye and a surprisingly calm wife who was somehow understanding that I made such a stupid decision. TL, doctor, I upgraded the battery on my son's Power Wheel and then brought it inside. He then drove it under the kitchen table and cut his eyelid. Wife's fine, I am not. Top dating right there. 10/10 approve. Oh man, I appreciate that. Think of the stories you two can bond over when he's older. Yeah, my great-grandma always used to tell me, they're not mistakes, they are memories. And I honestly always thought that was both a day I fucked up. Gonna be honest, I thought the 20V would kill the motor, so I never did this upgrade. I make sure he's wearing a helmet though. Was a little worried about it myself, but it held up. It did however strip the tires out where the axle makes them turn, so I ran wood screws in where the metal flaps would normally push the plastic. I get it. Anytime we make a less than optimal decision that results in our kids getting hurt, we feel like the biggest fuck up parents. Your wife is being gentle with you, and you, in turn, can be gentle with yourself too. You're going to make mistakes and it's okay. Accidents happen, even when your decision isn't involved. The helmet is a solid decision regardless of where he's riding, because accidents happen. I completely agree with everything you said here. Lesson learned on the helmet though. Won't be a next time without it. I can tell you a few stories like this my husband has done, but just know you're not alone. Probably would have been worse if she seen him clunk his head twice though, lol.